Hello, this is Little Mac Bricks here, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. Today I'm going to show you how to cut down the legs of a Linnmon table so you can use your Linnmon table as, you know, to be able to raise your city up for, like a lot of people like to do with their cities. So these are the tools and items that you're going to need in order to accomplish this ordeal. Number one, I took the amount of bricks I want to raise my table, which is 12 2/3, which should be enough for me to allow me to run trains underneath. Next, you'll need these. These are to remove this little end piece of the table. It's actually an adjuster. Now don't throw this out when you remove it because you're gonna put it back on. The screw gun doesn't necessarily have to be a screw gun. You can use a screwdriver too, but this is just to mount the legs to the table. If you have these tables, you know what I'm talking about. The tape measure is you're gonna use that to measure your distance of the bricks and make your marks onto the leg. And I have a bandsaw. You don't have to use a bandsaw, you can use a hacksaw, but that's how I'm gonna cut the leg. And this little thing right here looks like a piece from a tape measure, which it actually is a piece from a tape measure, but I found this inside of a snap bracelet. And what we're going to use this for is to make a nice even line around our table leg so we can cut it nice and even. If you don't know what a snap bracelet is, I'm sure you can probably Google it. It's basically this piece of tape measure with some plastic around it, and kids like to take it, snap it around their wrist, and becomes a bracelet. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove this adjuster for the foot at the bottom. It comes out ever so easily, and that's it right there. Like I said, you don't want to discard this because you are going to reuse this. Next, you're going to want to temporarily screw one of these plates onto your leg. These are the mounting plates to mount it to the table. The reason you're doing that is because you have this little bit here that you're going to have to account for in your measurement. Then you're going to line up your stack of Legos. Like I said, mine, I'm going with 12 2/3 bricks. And I'm going to take a level, which I'm sorry I forgot to add this in the beginning, but if you want to be precise in your markings, then a level is a way you're going to want to go, because you can make sure your mark is cleanly across. So I have a mark. Now remember, we popped this off and we do want to reuse this, so the next step would be measure the edge that's gonna hit where your leg is going to sit, which is right here, to the bottom, which is here. So you need to get a measurement of that. The measurement I came up with is 1/2 inch. So you're going to take your line here that we made before. You're going to take your tape measure and you are not going to add but remove a 1/2 inch from your original line. So I got mine lined up with the 2. I'm going to go to 1.5 inches. So that is our final line. That's where we want the leg to be cut at. The next step would be to take my slap bracelet, or if you have a broken tape measure at home, this works. Or if you don't have either, you can also take several measurements. Basically measure from here to where your line is, and you use that same measurement and you go multiple times around here, and then you ever so slightly try to connect the dots all the way around, and that should also work. But I prefer this way because it's a nice clean way to do it, and it gives me a nice hard line to trace. Okay, so as you can see here, we have my original rough measurement, and then we took off the spacing to be able to add our adjuster in, and then we took our slap bracelet, put it on there, and traced a line going all the way around the leg. So this is the line right here. You're going to want to either cut with, if you happen to have a bandsaw, great. It's a fast, easy way to do it. If not, you're going to want to take a hacksaw. Now I want to let you know, this is something, if you're a kid, you should ask your parents for help. This isn't something that you should try and do on your own. So please don't do this at home without the help of a parent or supervision of a parent. So here are 4 that are finished. Like I said, here's that piece. You're just going to want to pop that back in there. Find a hard surface. And we're nice and seated. Now if you look, these are all going to be the same length. If done correctly, which they are. And by putting these adjusters back in, if by any chance you do happen to make a slight mistake, you can still use these adjusters to level it out. The next part we have here is we're going to mount our plates that hold our legs onto the table. So this is where you need the screw gun. They have pre-drilled holes. Okay, and after you get that mounted, then we're going to take our legs and screw them all on. Make sure they're nice and tight. Finally, here we have our finished product. All the legs are secured and the table is now ready to be placed into the Lego City. Thank you all for watching. This is Little Mac Bricks signing off. Build on, friends.